you can hear me. Dang, I never did this before.
Shalom, everybody. Waiting for everyone to come in. I know y'all can hear me. Hey, yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me, bro?
Bro.
All right,
I
cool.
hear you, bro. Shalom.
Shalom. Waiting for more to join in.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right, bet. But I'll be right back, bro.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I have to. Shalom, everybody. We pretty late, but we're just reviewing what we're about to bring out. We're just going to be reading Jeremiah 31, just breaking it down, thorough study. So it's like a little study session.
Oh, my God. Yo, is my screen lagging on your end?
Kinda.
Dang.
Nah, you good now.
Hey, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone real quick. I don't know if it's my phone or what. Hold on. Cause
Shalom, bro.
you lagging on my end.
I'm like on
Shalom, bro.
yours.
Yeah, like on your video feed, I hear your voice though.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let me try to come in on. Hold on, real quick. Oh, cause it might be cause I'm on my iPad right now. It might be that.
I mean, that was good.
Yeah, yours still lagging on my end though. Like I don't know. You can hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right, well it might be just my video that's All right, put a one up, y'all, if y'all can see Peter moving and it's not lagging.
Yeah,
If
am I
that's the case,
lagging?
then if he lagging, then just put a one up if he lagging.
If not, I can probably just use my data.
Or say no, he not lagging if he not.
Well, I may just do.
Oh, both of us good. All right,
Am
bet.
I good? I'm still good.
So yeah, they said both of us good. So I mean, I ain't gonna.
Am I still lagging
If
on your end?
your video was lagging, but not like your voice. So he said both of us good. So on his end, everything's
Okay.
straight. It's probably just our whatever we got going on.
Right.
So but yeah, y'all. So today, what you gotta do, bro? You gotta type in Jeremiah. Well, I'll do it. Let me type it in. Jeremiah.
I already got it.
Oh, you already typed it in?
Well, yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, and then just put a pin that real quick.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, cool. We try to. Okay. So yeah, So yeah, we're going over Jeremiah 31 today in an in-depth study, in-depth breakdown, and actually getting context on what this chapter is talking about. It just hit us one day to go over this chapter and just the things we found. We just wanted to bring that out, and hopefully y'all edified by it. So we just gonna get into it.
Yeah.
I'll start it off, bro.
So make sure y'all just if y'all can read along if you want, take notes. But we're just gonna be reading Jeremiah 31 all the way down. That's pretty much it. Just breaking it down verse by verse.
Yeah, facts. And then it's gonna get recorded. So if you don't have like a pen and paper handy, you know what I'm saying, it will be getting recorded. So you'll be able to, follow along and get those notes.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna start off Jeremiah 31 and verse 1. It says, "At the same time, said the Most High, I will be the power of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people."
Right.
All right. So I want to give context on what that's talking about. As far as all the families of Israel, a lot of people say that it's talking about all of Israel. In this chapter, we're going to prove in context what it's actually talking about. So all the families of Israel, it says, let me read it one more time. It says, At that time, said the Most High, I will be the power of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. So it's a time to come, right?
Yep.
So at that time when Jeremiah is prophesying this, at that time it must be where they're not his people, right?
Right.
All the families of Israel.
Because he said, they shall be my people. So at this time, they're not his people.
Exactly. So we're going to prove that with another prophet. In verse 10.
We're going to Hosea. So Hosea 11.
Yeah, we can't start at verse 10 because start at verse 10.
Got you.
And y'all let us know if the signal, if anything is off.
Yeah.
Let us know.
There's a Hosea 1. Okay, yo. So Hosea 1 verse 10, it says, Yet the children of Israel shall be as the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it said unto them, Ye are not my people, it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Then
right. So right there it's saying the children of Israel. So a lot of people would just say that's all 12, but we're gonna read the next verse. Go ahead.
It says, Then, so after this, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Right. So right there is literally telling us it's a distinction between the two.
Right. Children of Judah and children of Israel.
So in that first verse he read, it said the children of Israel. Yet the children of Israel. And read that verse one more time.
It says, Yet the number of it says, Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people. So the children of Israel saying that ye are not my people. There it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God.
Right. So for the children of Israel, then we read the second verse in verse 11. And it literally said that the children of Israel and Judah.
Right.
So it's making a distinction between the two. So right here, when I read in verse 1 of Jeremiah, I'm going to read it one more time. It says, At that same time said the Most High, I will be the power of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Because at that time, if you read, which we're going to bring out later on, but you can watch in our previous videos, at that time, Northern Kingdom, which is Israel, was divorced, and Judah remained.
Judah was never divorced.
Right. And that just gives us context on what we're reading. So now we got that established, we just going to go to verse 2. It says, Thus said the Most High, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest. The Most High hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Ye have loved thee with an everlasting love, and therefore with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Again I will build thee, and thou shalt be built. O virgin of Israel, thou shalt again be adorned with tabrets, and thou shalt go forth in the myrrh. go forth in dances of them that make merry.
Right.
So the virgin of Israel is talking about right here is talking about the house of Israel. We're going to prove that with another scripture, but for right now, I'm going to just keep reading. It says, thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. So right here, Samaria is in the
It's the capital of
landmass.
capital of Northern Kingdom, which is Ephraim.
Exactly.
Like we brought up in the last
then,
video, the capital of Ephraim is Samaria. So verse 5 is literally talking about Samaria, Northern Kingdom, Ephraim.
Exactly. And so it says, the planter shall plant and shall eat them as common things. Verse 6 says, for there shall be a day that the watchman upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, arise and let us go up to Zion onto the Most High our power. So I know we didn't even go over this, bro, but I just want to show that it's said that Mount Ephraim, they're going to go up to Zion. So that's another mountain, right? These are two different mountains. What people got to understand is, because it say daughter of Zion, it's not talking about all 12. It's just, that's not, but we're going to get a scripture to prove that. So this is something I'm about to just bring out right now. All right, so hold on.
Where are we going to?
Because I'm going to Psalms. I got to figure out where is that. It's in Psalms. Okay. So this is Psalm 78 and verse 68. It says, but chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loves. That was Psalm 78, 68. So it's literally telling you right here that the tribe of Judah, which is the head of the southern kingdom, is the Mount Zion.
Right.
So when we see daughters of Zion and stuff like that, we do got to be aware of what we read, and it's really a reason. And we'll get into that into more lessons, but yeah. So I'll keep on going from there though. This is verse 7. It says, for thus said the Most High, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Most High, save thy people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them forth from the north country, and gather them from the coast of the earth, and with the blind and the lame, and the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together, a great company shall return thither.
Right.
So, 1 second. All right, cool. So now, we read that. I'm trying to remember the notes. Just bear with me, y'all. I'm just trying to remember where we're going to pick up on stuff.
All right, you good. Pretty much, I mean, we can tie that in with, was it Jeremiah 3, but we'll go wait until the end.
Yeah, we could do that with Jeremiah 3. Yeah. But now I'm going to read verse 9. So this is verse 9 of Jeremiah 31. It says, they shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of water in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Now this is when we about to get kind of deep.
Right.
So when we understand that the children of Israel were born, the first one was Reuben. But the Most High right here says that Ephraim is his firstborn.
Why is he saying that?
Ephraim was from Joseph. And Joseph was the second youngest of the children of Israel, the youngest being Benjamin.
Right.
So now we want to figure out, why did he say that Ephraim was his firstborn? So
we'll go to
start
from Isaac. So we have to go all the way back to Genesis to figure out why Ephraim is considered. Can you hear me?
right, considered the firstborn. You was breaking up a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bit, but hopefully everything. Great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, I'm good now.
all right, we gonna. So this came to us just the other day, and it just hit us like it says that Ephraim is the firstborn, but we know for a fact that Ephraim, with his father being Joseph, wasn't the firstborn of the children of Israel.
Right.
So we went back and we realized something that not necessarily the firstborn is the favored or the loved or the chosen, the beloved, right? So we're going to show you that by going back all the way to Isaac. And hopefully y'all can follow us with this logic.
Right.
So with that being said,
We'll
let's just go
to
to Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis 17.
Right. We're going to go to Genesis 17. And if anybody have questions, y'all can ask them right now. If y'all, want us to slow down or something right now.
And shalom to
here,
the newcomers. We're just going over Jeremiah 31 right now. Right now we're in Genesis 17.
Facts. So yeah, Genesis 17. And we're going to start at what, verse 18?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Genesis 17 and verse 18. It says, and Abraham said unto the Most High, O Ishmael, that might live before thee. Most High said, Sarah thy wife be a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. So Ishmael has been born already, Ishmael being the oldest, right? So now he's going to establish his covenant with Isaac, though, not being the firstborn, right? All right, so look, this is verse 20. Shalom, bro.
Shalom.
It says, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he begot, and I will make him a great nation. So Ishmael, he's going to be a great nation. But then verse 21 tells us, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
Right.
So the Most High, like, yo, even though Ishmael be born first, I'm establishing my covenant with Isaac. So the covenant didn't go to Ishmael, but it went to Isaac. Even though he was firstborn.
Right.
So we got to follow that pattern, being the younger, right? All right. So we following that pattern with being the younger. So now we're going to go to another famous characters in the Bible.
Esau and Jacob.
Right. So this is Genesis 25, and we're going to show you this throughout. We running it down.
Right.
The elder shall serve the younger, of course. Facts.
Yep.
So, so this is Genesis 25, and we'll start at verse 19.
I can read this one.
Go ahead, bro.
It says, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Most High for his wife, because she was barren. And the Most High was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Most High. And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in that womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days...
That's what the brother just brought out right there.
Right, exactly. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Right. So right there, he's reading that Esau came out first, right? So he should be the one with the blessing, or he should be the one. Now, we all know the story, but if you follow in the pattern, Ishmael born first, Isaac get it.
Right.
Esau born first, Jacob get it. But we're going to even switch it up a little bit different than that and go a little bit further. We're going to go into Leah and Rachel and see how far that goes, right?
Right.
So, oh no, wait.
No,
we have to
about
establish something.
Yeah, we got to establish something before we go into Leah and Rachel.
Go ahead, bro. You can bring that out.
So you want to go to Malachi 1:1-3?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up on my phone because I don't want to leave off this. So yeah, Malachi 1 and 3. Facts. I see what you said, bro. Facts.
Right. So it says, the burden of the word of the Most High to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Most High. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Most High. Yet I love Jacob. So out of Esau and Jacob, the Most High loved Jacob. And I hated Esau and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Right. So, not saying that the same reason that the Most High hated Esau, that's not the point we're trying to prove. It's more of for what it's showing you a consistent pattern of even the firstborn not being the actual firstborn, or being the chosen one.
Not being favored, pretty much.
Right. We can go with Reuben, we can go with Ishmael, we can go with Esau, and we're going to go with Leah and Rachel right now.
Right.
All right? All praises, bro. So, yeah. Now we're going to go to chapter 29.
Yeah, Genesis 29.
Yeah, Genesis 29 and verse 16. And I'll do this one right here.
Yeah.
We're going to 28. All right, so it says, in verse 16, it says, and Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. So there you go, that well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, the younger, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. Right? Shalom, bro. How you feel? 19. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. So that's what the father was saying to Jacob. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. So he loved her a lot. You know what I'm saying? For serving 7 years, it only felt a couple days. You feel me?
Right.
But 21 says, and Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in on to her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in on to her. So I'm guessing it was dark.
It had to be.
I'm guessing it was dark. But you feel me? But anyway, 24, right. 24 says, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me? So Jacob like, what's up? What's wrong, bro? Did I not serve thee for Rachel?
Right.
Therefore, then hast thou beguiled me. It says, and Laban said, it must be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
Right. So that wasn't a custom.
Yeah. So wait, let me read that one more time.
Yeah.
Because I messed that up. 26 says, and Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. So now this is key right here. Because the Most High said that Ephraim is his firstborn. Even though we know Ephraim wasn't born first. We're going to prove that though.
Right.
But what verse was we stopping at? Oh, 28. Okay, cool. So 27 says, fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. So he did an extra 7 years for the woman that he loved, a total of 14. That's who he really wanted, the younger. That was who was loved, the chosen, right?
That was who was favored.
Exactly. So now we about to get into Ephraim and why he was firstborn, right?
Right.
Because firstborn ain't always firstborn. We're gonna prove that. So now
So
we're going to
48.
48.
Yeah, Genesis 48. And we're going to verse 8.
And this is getting recorded for everybody that's in here.
Yeah.
It's getting recorded.
Genesis 48, verse 8. I'll go ahead and read it, bro. You there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here, but go ahead.
All right. So it says, "And Israel beheld Joseph's sons, and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom Yah had given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age," so he was going blind, pretty much, "so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, Yah has showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out."
Right there, he's saying, what he's saying is that, I didn't even think I was gonna see you. This is young. If y'all know about, the story about Joseph and Israel, he thought he wasn't gonna see his son again. So he was like, the Most High ain't just blessed me to see you, but to see my grandkids. So go ahead.
And so he says, "And Joseph brought them out between his knees, and bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took both Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand." Because remember, the firstborn should always get the blessing. Because
Right, and so that right hand represents the one who gets that blessing.
Right,
so that right hand, he was trying to put Ephraim under,
right?
Because he was the firstborn. And he was trying to put the left hand under Ephraim. He was trying to put Manasseh under the right, and he was trying to put Ephraim under the left, because that's what that represents, that right hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That favor.
So let me read this again. It said, "And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn."
Right. So that's what we have to establish, right? We have to establish that he was like, yo, Israel, the father, was like, no, I'm putting my hand on Ephraim, the younger.
Right.
Even though Manasseh was the firstborn. Got to take this in. You feel me? So, yeah, go ahead, bro.
And this is verse 15. "And he blessed Joseph and said, Yah, before whom my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, did walk, the power which fed me all my life long until this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, in the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth."
A multitude.
Right.
Talking about 2 tribes of the northern kingdom. I just want to throw that out there. But yeah.
And when Joseph saw, when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father,
right, because at that time it was an established custom that the right hand is going to go on the firstborn, because the firstborn gets the blessing.
Right.
But this is not case right here, and Israel know that, but we're gonna see.
And his father refused. This is verse 19. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
I want to touch on 2 parts right here. The first part I want to touch on, he said the younger brother shall become greater than he, the older, right? We see that with a lot of cases in the Bible, especially dealing with Israel and Esau.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I want to also deal with something else. It was something that he read. He said, and his seed, talking about Ephraim, one tribe, right, shall become a multitude of nations. Why? I thought Israel was one nation.
Right.
I thought Israel itself was one nation. How come when he's telling this blessing, he says it's going to become a multitude of nations, Ephraim right here?
Think about.
I'm not gonna go into the future prophecies. If y'all follow us, I want y'all to remember that verse.
Right.
Because we're gonna go into future prophecies, and this is what get people confused because they don't understand that Israel considered multiple nations in the Bible also. Right. It's not looked at just one. And Ephraim is one case that we can point out, but we can point out many other cases also, especially dealing with Abraham. All right, so yeah.
I'm on verse
read that next.
Yeah, verse 20. And he blessed them that day, saying, in thee shall Israel bless, saying, Yah make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh, and he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel.
Fact. So Ephraim was before his brother. Ephraim the younger being before his brother. So when we was reading in Jeremiah 31,
when it says,
we was reading.
I'll read it real quick. And it says, and this is Jeremiah 31, verse 9. And it says, they shall come with weeping and with supplications while I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of water in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn.
Right. So Ephraim is his firstborn. We just figured out that Ephraim is not the firstborn. Joseph, not even the firstborn out of the children, because what you got to understand is we don't have a tribe of Joseph according to the 12 tribes, right?
Right.
We have Ephraim and Manasseh. So the favor went to both of his children. That's what made 12. It was originally going to be 11 if it was just a tribe of Joseph.
Right.
But it went to his sons. You know? So now it's 12 tribes, right? So when we deal with that, we got to understand that the favorite one, Joseph had, we're going to establish that later, right? With Joseph?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to establish that later with Joseph as far as how he was the favorite of his 10 brothers.
10 brothers. He was favored.
Right. So we're going to establish that. But yeah. But okay, cool. And what verse did we leave off on?
That was verse 9 in Jeremiah 31.
Okay.
Now we're going to verse 10.
Ooh. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So verse 10 says, hear the word of the Most High, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattereth Israel will gather him and keep him as a shepherd doeth his flock.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to find out who the flock is. The reason why we're doing this is because a lot of people even though the Messiah said it in Matthew 15:24, I am not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The house of Israel has always been the northern kingdom. People like to say this is talking about all 12 and all that. People don't want to really do it. So we're going to show you in the Old Testament that it was talked about. This is Ezekiel 34. And we're going to start at verse 2.
Right.
You want to grab that or you want me to grab it?
I got it. So Ezekiel 34, verse 2, it says, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them. Stop right there.
So we have shepherds of Israel. So we're going to find out who those shepherds are. Because if they're shepherds, they can't be sheep. Sheep can't be shepherds. So
Right.
it's a distinguish between the two. If the Messiah came for the lost sheep, but it's shepherds of Israel. So let's figure out who the shepherds are.
Right. Say unto them, thus says the Most High, unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Yea, eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. So the Most High is getting on these shepherds for not feeding the flock.
Exactly. And now, mind you, this is Ezekiel talking, so that means the kingdom has broke up.
The kingdom's
Y'all
already been
have to
split.
just, so y'all understand that it's not one. Gotta understand that.
Mm-hmm. And what are we reading towards to?
We could just go all the way down to
Yeah. Okay.
dang, I forgot. Keep going though. It's a while.
Yeah, there's a lot in here. So it says, verse 4, the disease have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have you brought again that which was driven away, neither have you sought that which was lost. So he's saying, neither have you sought that which was lost. But with
Yes.
force, no, go ahead.
No, so being shepherds, what can you lose?
Sheep.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah.
So he said, neither have you sought that which was lost, but the force and with cruelty ye have ruled them. Sounds very familiar. I don't know if anyone's following on. So he's saying, he's coming at these shepherds of Israel, and saying that you basically scatter the flock. Huh?
Down to 31.
Yeah. He's saying that you pretty much scatter the flock, you rule them with cruelty, and pretty much you're not treating the flock right, and you're not even seeking out which is lost. You're not seeking out the flock that is lost. And then verse 5, Ezekiel 34 verse 5, it says, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered.
Now I always want to clarify something. This beast of the field is not talking about actual beasts. It's talking about nations.
Right, because throughout scriptures, nations are referred to beasts. You can read that,
so
Daniel.
I was about to say something, Penny. Go ahead, bro.
All right. He said in verse 6, it says, my sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Most High. As I live, it says Yahweh, surely because my flock become a prey, and my flock become meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock. But the shepherds fed themselves, and fed not my flock. Therefore, O ye shepherds, right. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Most High. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves anymore.
No, so we at Ezekiel 34 and verse 10. We about to finish up verse 10 right now. So Ezekiel 34 and verse 10.
Right. So we're at verse 11 right now. It says, for thus says Yahweh, behold, I, even I, will both search my flock and seek them out. So Most High said he will search his flock. Matthew says, I came for the lost sheep. So Messiah was looking for the lost sheep. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people, and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country. I want
to say something.
Yeah.
So when it's talking about the mountains of Israel, it's not talking about Mount Zion. People got to understand, it's not talking about Mount Zion. So that's the Mount Zion is the pillar. It's the real. That's the that's where even the northern everybody's seeking Mount Zion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what these mountains of Israel is talking about. So, well, you can keep on going, bro. I just wanted to point that out.
Right. It says, I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, says the Most High. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away. And I will bind up that which was broken, and will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and the strong. I will feed them with judgment. And as for you, O my flock, thus says the Most High, behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between the rams and the he goats. Seemeth it a small thing unto you to have eaten up the good pasture, but ye must tread down with your feet the residue of your pastures, and to have drunk of the deep waters, but ye must foul the residue with your feet. And as for my flock, they eat which ye have trodden with your feet, and they drink which ye have fouled with your feet. They're just defiling themselves pretty much. Therefore, thus says the Most High, unto them, behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle, because ye have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the disease with your horns, till ye have scattered them abroad. Therefore will
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
So, fat cattle and lean cattle, right? So, the thing about it is, we hear that we can see in the Bible, and I don't have no scriptures on hand right now, but if y'all read the Bible and y'all find it, y'all know what I'm talking about. The rich are sometimes compared to being fattening with richness.
Right.
Only to be slaughtered at the end. But the lean is to be fed and then brought back into life. You feel me? So he's gonna judge between the evil and the good, or the rich and the poor.
Right.
Spirit and both. You know what I'm saying? And both, financial or spirit. Those who prideful and the humble.
Yeah, I was about to say that, pride and humble, rich and poor.
Right.
The meek shall inherit the earth. The proud will be judged.
Fact. So that's where he was talking about. Behold, I will judge between the cattle, or between the fat cattle and the lean cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is now we're on verse 23, Ezekiel 34, verse 23, and it says, I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them. Even my servant David, he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd.
Okay, so somebody from the line of David.
It's not talking about actual David.
It's not talking about actual David. Somebody from the line of David has to be that shepherd. David comes from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
So wait. The shepherds must be from just the kingdom or the tribe of Judah, however you want to take it, but you have to make a distinction. If you don't want to say the whole southern kingdom, you want to just say Judah, however you want to do it, but you have to agree that David is from Judah, which I'm going to tell you is talking about the southern kingdom being the shepherds. All right? Because if you look into the New Testament, the priests are evil and they doing wicked too. And they were and they the ones that teach. Right, and they're the ones that teach. So you have to understand it's talking about the southern kingdom right here being the shepherds, right? We just identified that with this verse. So go ahead though.
All right. This is verse 24, and it says, I the Most High will be their power, and my servant David a prince among them. I the Most High have spoken it, and I will make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beasts to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. And I will make them and the places around about my hill a blessing, and I will cause the shower to come down in his season, and they shall be showers of blessings. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am the Most High, when I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the hands of those that serve themselves of them. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beasts of the land devour them. but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen any more. Thus shall they know that I, the Most High, their power, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people.
Whoa. The house of Israel are the sheep he was talking about the whole time. We had to get through that whole chapter to prove that.
Context.
But in verse 30, in context, right? We're not just going to know one verse and just leaving it alone. We're going to give you the context. These sheep he was talking about was who? The house of Israel.
Right.
And look how he even said it. Watch how he said it. Thus shall they know that I am the Most High, their power. I am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people. Remember, in the first verse, he said that they shall be my people.
Right.
House of Israel.
Jeremiah 31, verse 1. Let me read it again. At that same time, says the Most High, well, I'll be their power of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people.
Come on. It's talking about the northern kingdom. That's the sheep. It literally tells you that, but read the last verse so be clear. And I'm going to answer that question. I just have to get done with this.
Right. And it says, and you are my flock. The flock of my pastor are men, and I am your power, says the Most High.
So the sheep are men. And these are men of the children of Israel, the northern kingdom. Hold on. Yeah. To the Most High, yes. To answer your question, when you said would Esau selling his birthright having anything to do with why Jacob was favored? Yeah. Because you're not supposed to sell your birthright. His birthright wasn't taken. His birthright was sold.
Right. He sold it himself for lentils.
Yeah, and I mean the most high, of course, knew that would happen, but yeah, that would have something to do with it. If you're selling your birthright, I mean, for some food, because
come on, bro.
Starving, that don't even make sense. That even makes no sense. But and you a hunter,
right?
Like that didn't even make no sense. But
oh man.
So we want to establish that the sheep,
the flock,
are the northern kingdom, the Ephraim. The house, the 10 tribes, whatever you want to put it, that's the sheep.
Right.
Who's the shepherd? The Messiah, who'd he come from?
Judah.
Judah, the southern kingdom. We have to make distinctions when we read this Bible. So when he says, I am not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, this is a shepherd talking.
Seeking out the lost sheep.
You have to put it in context. But, yeah, we good right there, right? So we can jump back into Jeremiah 1.
So now we're back at Jeremiah 31, and we're at verse 11. So what we just read was verse 10, and we were establishing who the flock was. Flocks is sheep.
The flock was and the shepherds.
Right.
So yeah. Now let's get into and that's the shepherds of Israel. Because it is different shepherds in the Bible, but it is shepherds of Israel, like Ezekiel 34 clearly said. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, verse 11, I'll pick it up. It says, for the Most High have redeemed Jacob and ransomed him for the hand of him that was stronger than he. Therefore, they shall come and sing in the height of Zion. The sheep are coming up to Zion because we already established with Psalms that Zion is Judah or the southern kingdom, however you want to look at it.
Right.
So the lost sheep are going up to the house of Zion. They have their own mountains. Remember, we established that. They have their own mountains, right? And I mean, if you look into the landmass, if you look into the maps, ancient maps and stuff, you can see this. This is clearly drawn out for you. It's a distinction between certain mountains of Ephraim and Mount Zion.
Right.
It's there. But anyway, I'm gonna read 12. It says, and therefore they shall come and sing in the height. Yo, shalom, bro.
Shalom, bro.
And they shall come in the height of Zion and shall flow together to the goodness of the Most High for wheat and for wine and for oil. And for all the young of the flock and all the herd, and their souls shall be as a water garden,
Right.
and they shall sorrow no more at all. For everybody who's just joining, we in Jeremiah 31. I'm going into verse 13 right now.
Right.
All right. It's getting recorded too, so you ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, missing out on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13 says, Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, both young men and old together, for I will turn their mourning into joy, and I will comfort them and make them rejoice for their sorrows. This is to come. This is gospel right here.
Right.
This is literally telling you the good news to come. Like, this hasn't happened yet. We know what we're going through right now, and that's not this. It's talked about. So we know this is to come. This is what you look forward to, right? And then this is 14. It says, and I will satiate. Who's the virgin? What does that mean? The virgin in this context right here is talking about Northern Kingdom. Now, at this time, all right, look. At this time, the Most High is calling for them back. And of course we're gonna be all born again, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's talking in the future context. Because right now, in the time of Jeremiah, they're defiled.
Yeah, right.
But he's talking future prophecy. He's talking in the future prophecy, as in they're going to be born again. This is when they come back to me. You know what I'm saying?
That goes into the renewing of the covenant. He's going to write the laws within our inwards, our heart, in our heart.
Exactly.
We'll be like as virgins again in the eyes of the Most High.
Right. Right, exactly. So that's the version in the context of this chapter. It would be the Northern Kingdom or Ephraim, and we can prove that too. So was I reading 13? I'm gonna read it in. Oh, no, I already read that.
No,
okay, so 14 says.
Yep.
Where I'm at 14.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will satisfy the soul of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with goodness, said the Most High. Now here's where we get, we about to get into something else, right?
Yeah.
Verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Thus said the Most High, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children because they were not. Right. So now Rachel, which we just established, remember we established that earlier in the video or the lesson. We established Rachel was the younger, but by Jacob, she was most favored and loved. And he had to work an extra 7 years to get her, even though the first initial years he worked, he wanted her. Right. So he worked a total of 14 years for this woman. Now, Rachel is weeping for her children, not Leah, not Bilhah, not Zilpah. It's Rachel. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now we have to establish who Rachel's children are, right?
So we're gonna got that? Yeah, we're gonna go to.
Did that Genesis? Was that Genesis?
No. This is a precept. We're going to Matthew 2. You want to go to Matthew 2?
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and then you can share it. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, yes. We just gonna go to Matthew 2, and we're gonna start at verse 16.
Right. So.
And just to let y'all know, Rachel she was the last of the women to have children from the servants and the sister itself. But Rachel had Joseph first, and then she had Benjamin. Right. So, just so we clarify who Rachel's children are is Joseph and Benjamin, right? So you go ahead, bro.
So let me share my screen. Look at this. So this right here,
right, facts, bro.
Herod slaughters babies. You can read the whole chapter if you want, but pretty much Herod, he's trying to find the Messiah and kill him because he heard about the prophecies and all that stuff. So in verse 16, it says, and then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise man, was exceedingly wroth and set forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, in Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation, and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and will not be comforted because they are not.
Right. So now, when we go into the context of the area that is talked about, and was that Ramah, and then we go into the New Testament where it's talk about he went into Bethlehem and he started slaying. And we understand. Oh, you want to share your screen? Just share your screen, bro. You got to go into the You got to go to the Hebrew, right?
Yeah. So you want me to go to the Strongs and Ramah and Matthew?
Yeah, just
2?
so we can show the borders of how Ephraim and Benjamin was right there.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
I can't see your screen, so if anybody else can see it, y'all can see it. But
all right. So if you go to the Blue Letter Bible, and what we just read was Matthew 2, and the word Ramah, let me just show it. It says, a town of the tribe of Benjamin, situated about 5 miles north of Jerusalem on the road to Bethel. You want to go? You can go down. You can read the lexicon, and it says Ramah, a town of the tribe of Benjamin, situated 6 Roman miles north of Jerusalem on the road leading to Bethel, now the village of Ram, Matthew 2:18, Jeremiah 38:15 onward. So yeah, this was the borders.
And now that was the Greek. So that was the Greek Strong's Concordance for that word, right?
Right.
When we go into the Hebrew one, and we showing you both. We showing you the Greek one, the New Testament one. Now we're gonna go into the Hebrew one. So it established Benjamin.
Right.
But now we about to establish something else. Because remember he said he was in Bethel and also in Ramah, and he was in the coast thereof. So he was in other places.
Right.
The coast of it. Now we about to get into going back into Jeremiah 31:15 and going to that word Ramah right there.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go to it right now.
And this is how we come up with these. This is how you study. I'm gonna just be real,
Right.
for real, actual studying. And I mean, it's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. Learning just from some people, but you really should study for yourself and really look into these matters,
Right?
Because it brings a lot more clarity to the scriptures when you do that.
All right, so I'm here. So here, let me share my screen again. So Ramah in the Hebrew, a town of Benjamin on the border of Ephraim, about 5 miles from Jerusalem, near Geba.
Rachel weeping for her children, Joseph, and who had Ephraim, right, and Manasseh, but Ephraim and Benjamin. These are 2 bordering right there.
Right.
Rachel weeping for her children. Those 2 was right next to each other. He went into Ramah or Bethlehem and the coast thereof. You got to understand. And what's the other part you wanted to bring out? You said she died where?
I'm gonna show y'all that Rachel was actually buried in Bethlehem at that time. I believe it was called Bethel. So let me go to it real quick. Let me show you guys.
Right. This is how deep the Bible get.
Right. Genesis 35.
So while and it even get deeper, and I'm just throwing this out. I ain't even discussed this with him, y'all. So you know how when Cain did it in Abel, it said that the ground the ground was crying out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It said something like, I can't remember exactly how it was said, but that's almost the same as with Rachel.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what it said, but that was just throwing that out there.
All right, so this is Genesis 35 verse 19, and it said, and Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephraim, which is Bethlehem. So Rachel was buried in Bethlehem. Right.
The same place where she reaping for her children, the ones who getting slaughtered from King Herod from the ages 2 and under.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Matthew 2, verses 16 through 18.
Right.
So it gets a little deep, and we just breaking down this whole chapter, and we showing you how sometimes complex maybe a chapter can be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So then I'll pick it up in verse, read it back in Jeremiah 31.
Yeah, 16.
And I'm going to pick, yeah, verse 16, right, facts. It says, thus said the Most High, refrain thy voice from weeping, and thy eyes from tears, and from thy work shall be rewarded. Thus said the Most High, and they shall come again from the land of the enemy. And there is hope in thy end, said the Most High, that thy children shall come again to their own border. So the children, Ephraim, shall come again to their border. In our last previous lesson, we showed that the Messiah came from the northern kingdom, the house of Israel, within the borders, right? So right here, this is a future prophecy. We've been proving that throughout the whole script.
Right.
We see northern kingdom gonna have to come to their own borders, some of them right here. We proved that with last lesson that they were in the borders. Now they still coming back because some were in, some were out of both tribes.
Right.
Both tribes, Gentiles. You know, we can see that in different books. And we're going to come up with more lessons to show that.
Right.
But I hope y'all following us that it wasn't like all in one place, but we were there still. And some of us, we left out and returned. Some of us humbled down. Some of us, you know, but we were both in both areas. Yeah. And I can't wait till we get into that one lesson, man. But
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, just to show you, there go that borders again for the people who watched the last one.
Right.
So in verse 18, it says, I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself this or thus. So now, this is the Most High saying he has heard Ephraim bemoaning himself this. So now it's a comma.
Right.
And now this is Ephraim talking. Now Ephraim is talking, which is the 10 tribes. Not one, but 10. Right? It says, thou hast chastened me, and I was chastened, and as a bullock unaccustomed to the yoke.
What's that yoke?
Turn thou, I shall be turned, and thou art the Most High, my power. So Ephraim is saying he was like unaccustomed to the yoke, right? We have to figure out what the yoke is. Because we need to figure out what Ephraim, the northern kingdom, was unaccustomed to. So we about to go to Acts 15.
Right.
And we're going to start at verse 1.
I got this one. So Acts 15 verse 1, it says, and certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved. When therefore Paul and Barnabas had a small dissension and a dispute with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question.
All right, wait, hold on right quick. Why did he, and I just want to show something, because it's petty of me to bring it up right here, but it might have just slipped past. Even amongst them, even amongst brethren, they were having disputes about issues dealing with the scriptures, dealing with the law. So stop acting like if we having disputes and stuff, it's just, it needs to be all, bro, this is, if y'all want to go to Paul to try to justify all these weird doctrines, you got to see that he was disputing it.
Right.
It kind of, all right, that was off the subject, but I just wanted to point that out. But go ahead.
So, verse 3, and being brought on their way by the church, and they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles. And they caused great joy unto all the brethren.
Right. So now Paul and Barnabas, the ones sent to the Gentiles, are coming through Samaria. And when they coming through Samaria, they telling the Samaritans that, hey, yo, we converted the Gentiles.
Right.
But now, the Samaritans are rejoicing. But why? Let me give you a reason why I'm saying why. The Jews hate Paul for what he's doing. The Jews,
right?
The Southern Kingdom, Judah, hates Paul for what he's doing. Even though Paul is from the Southern Kingdom, but he was sent by the Messiah to do the work. And that was to be sent to the Gentiles outside of the borders of Israel, right?
Right.
I hope y'all following me. So,
It's
but
good.
the Jews hate what he doing. They send him off to King Agrippa. They trying to kill him and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the ones in Samaria, the Samaritans are rejoicing. Why is that?
Right. Why are they rejoicing?
The Samaria is the head of Ephraim, or Ephraim is the head of Samaria, or it's the capital.
Right.
This is where Northern Kingdom dwells.
They're
Paul
rejoicing.
is sent to the Northern Kingdom. Paul was sent to the Northern Kingdom. Those Gentiles or the Northern Kingdom.
They're hearing the good news and they're rejoicing.
They're hearing the good news that their people, the 10 tribes, this Gentile that's outside of the borders, are now converted, following the ways like them. Yeah.
All right, this is verse 4. And when they were come to Jerusalem, they were received of the church and of the apostles and elders, and they declared all things that Yah had done with them. But there rose up certain of the sects of the Pharisees, which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses.
So they believed that these certain sects of the Pharisees, and what they believed was that they needed the Gentiles that Paul went to, they needed to be circumcised, right?
Mm-hmm. After the manner of the law of Moses, right?
Right.
So verse 6, it says, and the apostles and elders came together to consider of this matter. And when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up. Right. Peter rose up and said unto them, men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago Yah made choice among us, that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe.
Peter saying this.
And Yah, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Ghost, even as he did unto us. And put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by them. So now we're seeing here is a division, but Peter is saying there's no more division.
Right.
Now therefore, this is verse 10, now therefore why tempt ye God to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear?
Whoa, hold on. So that yoke, because remember, we read the first thing, and it was saying, if you not be circumcised by the law of Moses, then you cannot be saved. Mm-hmm. So now, Peter, like, as a Southern Kingdom, Peter is like, yo, why would we put a yoke
upon them,
the burden on them, if we, Southern Kingdom, wasn't able to do it, nor was our fathers?
Right.
Yo, that's what it's talking about, bro.
That's all it is. Oh. And so
that's all it is.
Let me just finish verse 12. And it says, but we believe that through the grace of Yahushua HaMashiach, we shall be saved even as they. Then all the multitude kept silence and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring what miracles and wonders Yah had wrought among the Gentiles by them.
Facts. So, that's to show you what the yoke was. The yoke was the law.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to get deeper into a lesson about that, but that was just to establish that that's Ephraim saying he was unaccustomed to the law.
To the yoke.
The yoke. Because he was divorced.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any law anymore.
They didn't have it.
They didn't have any law. So, it's just, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go back into Jeremiah, what's that? 31.
We're on verse 19 now.
Hey, okay, cool.
Yeah,
so verse 19 says, right. Surely after that I was turned and repented. And after that I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Now, this is the Most High now talking.
Right.
Remember, it was Ephraim, the Most High talking. Is Ephraim my dear son? Okay. Is he a pleasant child? These are questions.
Mm-hmm.
For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Wherefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, said the Most High. So now
we're going to Luke
it
15.
says, it's Ephraim, my dear son.
Right.
Now we know that he was firstborn. Now we about to go into another New Testament parable to show who the Messiah was talking to while he was there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we going to Luke 15.
Now I can start off. We're starting out at verse 11.
Yeah. Luke 15 is called the prodigal son. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna give you context before we start reading. You got one son. What is that? No, we about to read it. It's good.
Yeah, we'll go read it. So remember.
All right. You said you got to start it off real quick.
Yeah.
All right. While you started off, I'm about to run somewhere. I'll be right back.
All right. So remember, we just read in verse 20, is Ephraim my dear son, is he a pleasant child? So the Most High, he's basically remembering his son, his pleasant child. He's missing him. Because it says, for since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him. That was Jeremiah 31, verse 20. Luke 15, we see here the prodigal son. And it says, and he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the youngest son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. So the son pretty much took his portion and ran off and went crazy. That sounds familiar, how the northern kingdom of Israel went a-whoring, backsliding Israel, following after other nations, doing idols and all that stuff, just completely wasting, not even following the commandments, wasting the law. This is a parable, it's like a mirror. So let me read 13 again. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. So he was living wild, just like the northern kingdom, living wild. Verse 14. And,
idolatry and all that.
Right. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine.
So right here, you have this prodigal son, or the younger son. Remember the younger, breaking it down. The younger son, right? He went off into the far country, riotous living, right? Now he's joined to a citizen of another country, Gentile, all right? So now he's feeding swine. Are we, according to the law, allowed to even...
We're not even allowed to touch the carcass of swine.
Why is he feeding them?
Right.
Why do he has them on the farm? Why is he on the farm with them? So this person who has them clearly not keeping the law, right? Idolatry, right?
Right.
Or just not following the unlawful, sinner. Or not even a sinner if you ain't got the law. But anyway.
Verse 16. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven before thee. So this is the son repenting to his father. He's repenting.
Which we just read in Jeremiah 31.
Right. And verse 19, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion on him, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. So this is eldest son, saying, I'm not worthy to be called your son. I'm not your child.
Right.
We do realize that the northern kingdom, they were not God's child. You are not my people. Verse 22, but the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And bring hither the fattest calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry.
So the father is actually happy that the prodigal son that went off into the whoredom, the idolatry. He's proud. I mean, he's happy that he's came back. He's rejoicing that he's came back. They having a feast now, killing a fat calf, and they having a feast. So this is what's happening.
Right. And so it says, and make merry. For this is my son. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Lost sheep.
Whoa. Dead and alive again. Lost and now was found. Right?
And they began to be merry. Now his elder son was in the field. And as he came and drew nigh to the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of his servants and asked, what do these things mean? And he said unto him, thy brother is come, and thy father had killed the fattest calf, because he had received him safe and sound. And he was angry. The older brother was angry.
The older brother is angry, is envying. His little brother came back home.
He said, he's angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. So his father's coming to him like, come on. And he answering said to his father, lo, these many years do I serve thee. Neither transgress I at any time thy commandment. So this whole time, this elder son, he never disobeyed the commandment, was what he's saying. So pretty much he never got rid of it. He never lost the law. He never lost the commandments. The elder son did. Remember, where Rod is living, forgot the law. The elder son didn't forget the law. He still had it. He was keeping it. Southern Kingdom was still keeping the laws, following after the laws of Moses. We just read
the Jews of the New Testament.
We just read that
it's the Jews,
right? We just read.
Because I be needing to say it like that because people would be like, "Oh, the Jews, the New Testament, that's the all 12."
Right? No.
Stop it! Stop the madness. That's madness, bro.
It's clear separation. You had the
wasn't
Jews,
like that in the
Southern
Old
Kingdom.
Testament. Yeah, it wasn't like that in the Old Testament. It's not like that in the New. Stop trying to. It's not that.
So pretty much. So yeah, he said in verse 29. He's answering and said to his father, "Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgress I at any thy commandment. Yet thou now gavest me a kid that I may make merry with my friends. But as soon as this thy son was come, which had devoured thy living with harlots, thou hast killed for him the fattest calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is yours. It was me."
Right. So he's. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna finish it up. It said, "It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found."
Right. So that's a big 2 chapters.
Right.
The lost sheep we should have already proven that with Ezekiel. But Ezekiel actually 3 chapters after that proves the dead part and I was alive. Because he goes into the valley of the dry bones. That's Ezekiel 37. Y'all can read that on your own. We did that last lesson. Yeah, we did. That was like the last chapter we did.
Yeah, we did.
So, so I mean, and definitely go check out that last lesson and with this lesson and put it together, and y'all gonna see what's happening for real. So, the son itself, right, is literally sitting up here and he's saying that he's jealous or envying that his brother, after he returned, that the father was rejoicing. Now, if we go into this chapter even further, like I was talking about, we finished the end of it, but if we went before, it was talking about sheep, and if you lost one, but I'll let y'all get into that. That's Luke 15 that we just finished up.
Right.
Hopefully y'all following. All praises, brother. All praises.
Facts, all
So
praises.
yeah, let's just go to let's just jump back into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where did we leave off at? That was
Is Jeremiah 31 verse 20.
Yeah, so we finished 20, and I was explaining the son. So I'm gonna read 20 again because we went to the prodigal son. We gave you the breakdown. Now we about to go read it one more time, and we gonna finish it.
Right.
So it says, "It's Ephraim, my dear son, that returned back home from idolatry, the prodigal son. Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, at one time I spoke against him.
Right.
I do earnestly remember him still. He's in my mind. He's in my heart." It then says, therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, said the Most High. When the northern kingdom comes back, I'm going to have mercy upon them.
Right.
When the prodigal son came back, yes, come back in and let's rejoice.
Right.
All the same thing, man. It's all the same thing. But let's just keep on going. This is 21. It says, set thee up way markers, make thee high heaps, set the heart toward the highway, even the way which thou winnest. Whoa, that like just said something different to me, bro. Listen, hold on though. All right, turn again, O Virgin of Israel, turn again to these thy cities. So wait, bro. It said, this is really, I just really realized this.
Mm-hmm.
It literally says, set thine heart toward the highway, even the way which thou winnest. So they went through that. And we know what the highways is. If you don't know what the highways is, it's the rivers that dry up. Mm-hmm. That's Isaiah 11, chapter 11 and everything. These are the highways. But it's also talking about the highway of another river, the Euphrates, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the highways that people are going to go over dry shod. And remember, they went off into a far country. Remember, they went off and outside of their borders.
Right.
So it says that they're going to go even the way they went. That lines up with a couple of the chapters. We're going to eat on that later.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point that out.
I see what you're saying. I see where you're going.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's. So anyway, this is verse 22. It says, how long would thou, go about, O thou backsliding daughter, backsliding Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though in the same chapter he compared it to be a son, now he's comparing it to be a daughter. Understand? Right. Shalom, bro. How you feel?
Shalom, bro.
It's different comparisons. And in the same book, Jeremiah, he compares the northern kingdom to be a wife. Then he compares it to be a son. Then he compares it to be a daughter. We have to stay in context with these things, right?
Flock and sheep.
So it says, right, facts. It says, for the Most High created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. 23 says, thus said the Most High of hosts, the power of Israel, as yet they shall use this speech in the land of Judah. So now it's talking about the land of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the cities thereof, I shall bring again their captivities. The Most High bless thee, O habitation of justice and mountain of holiness. Mm-hmm. So in the land of Judah, what's the mountain of holiness?
Mount Zion.
Zion, right? So that's what it's talking about. It says, and there shall dwell in Judah itself and in all the cities thereof, together husbandman and they that go forth with flocks. In Judah, they're going to go forth with flocks.
Mm-hmm.
Shepherds.
We just established what flocks was.
Sheep and shepherds. They're going to go forth with the flocks in Judah. They are the shepherds. The northern kingdom, the flock. It's not hard. It's not hard. We can't be both. Sheep can't be his own shepherd.
Right.
Like a dog can't walk his, you know what I mean?
Dog can't be his owner.
Anyway. Right, fact. So anyway, 25 says, for I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awakened and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Two different. I just want to establish, bro, because it's two different. It's two. All right, with the seed of men and with the seed of beasts. And it shall come to pass that, like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, said the Most High.
Right.
29 says, in those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Right? This is verse 31. Now this is what we have to get into. This has been a future prophecy this whole time, right?
Right.
So now we about to get into a future prophecy still. Understand this. It says, behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will make a new, or I will renew a covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. It hasn't happened yet, right?
Right.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break both.
Hold on,
bro.
I just want to make something.
I
just want to say something.
Go ahead.
Most High, he never broke the covenant. We broke the covenant. So therefore, we broke the marriage covenant. So the Most High, he's going to renew this covenant, but it's not going to be like the ones that he made with our ancestors, because it's going to be with a new generation. It's going to be a different one. All right, keep going.
Yeah. And it says, and although I was a husband unto them, said the Most High, but this shall be the covenant that I make with the house of Israel.
House.
Yo. And you mean finish? I'm going to finish the verse up so you don't think I'm lying. After those days, said the Most High, I will put my law in their inward parts. Wait, it didn't even say and Judah.
Right. Just said
it
house of
Israel. Say
Israel.
that. It said and the house of Israel. We have to get in context that the remarriage, the reason for is to bring the northern kingdom back.
Prodigal son.
That's what it's for. Now, I'm not saying that the southern kingdom is not wicked. The northern kingdom is even justified more than the southern kingdom.
Right.
The Bible tells us that in Jeremiah 3. That's Jeremiah 3.
Right.
So we're not saying that, but we're saying that the divorcement right here is a real thing. And it has to be a covenant back made with the bride.
Right.
The bride is the house of Israel, because
Ephraim.
The southern kingdom is already tied up in there. And guess who is the bridegroom? Comes out of the stem of Judah, bro.
Come on now.
Man. All right, so anyway, after those days, said the Most High, I will put my law in their inward parts, and I will write it in their hearts.
Their minds.
Right? And I will be their power, and they shall be my people. We just read that in Hosea. I mean, was that? Yeah, Hosea.
Yeah, it was in Hosea.
Right. Facts. So then 34 says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. For they shall all know me, from least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sins no more. It says, thus said the Most High, which shall the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon of the stars by for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Most High of hosts is his name.
Right.
If those ordinances depart before me, said the Most High, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Now, understand, in this context, he's already said this already happened, right? The one. So this seed that he's talking about is not talking about the 12, but it's talking about the one and of the 12. That's who he would cast off if this was ever not to happen.
Right.
He wouldn't do that. He proves that with multiple scriptures. Even Paul said, would he ever cast away his people? God forbid.
Right.
So it says, 37 says, thus said the Most High, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of the house of Israel. All the seed of Israel, my bad. Mm-hmm. For all they have done, said the Most High. So even if somebody can search out the Most High's creation, any of it, he can cast them off. You can't do it. Like exactly. He's saying, that's how impossible it is for him to forget his people. Right? Behold, the day is come, said the Most High, that the city shall be built for the Most High from the tower of Hanamel onto the gate of the corner, and the measuring line shall yet go forth over against it upon the hill of Gareb, and shall compass about Goath, whatever. And the whole valley of the dead bodies, I was once alive and now dead, but
valley
and
of
ashes,
bones.
Right, and of the ashes of all the fields of the brook of Kidron, onto the corner of the horse gate towards the east, shall be holy unto the Most High. It shall be not plucked up nor thrown down
forevermore.
Any more forever. And that's the end of Jeremiah 31.
Right.
I really do hope that people go back and actually understand what we were saying. And I appreciate everybody who stayed in tune. I see y'all. And yeah, if y'all got any questions about what we read, we saving this video too. But if y'all got any questions about what we read, we really take our time when we bring these out. It's not like a rush thing. We try to really
give context and all that.
We really try to break it down. We really trying to break it down. Oh, we forgot, bro.
What?
All right, this is an extra piece because we definitely did forget this. Appreciate that. We got one more part of it. So in Luke 15, we were seeing that the brother was mad, right?
Right.
We seen that the brother was mad about his younger brother coming back, right? And we might as well just go to Isaiah 11 and then go there so we can just prove, what we about to say.
Yeah.
So,
I know
we're going to prove the envy of Judah and Ephraim and how far it really goes back.
Right.
How far? We forgot that part, but it's cool. We're going to show how far it really goes back. So we're going to start with a future prophecy to show the ending of it, but then we're going to go to a past thing to show the beginning of it, if that makes any sense to y'all. And it's also in the New Testament. Understand that, right?
Right.
Understand that.
We see it all throughout the New Testament. Like we just read how the Pharisees or certain sect of the Pharisees were like, if you ain't circumcised out of the manner of, Moses, you can't be saved. And they were mad upon Barnabas for what they were doing, going through Samaria, teaching to the Gentiles. So we see a division. We see an envy going on between the Jews, southern kingdom, and the Gentiles, which were in Samaria. We all know that Samaria is the capital of Ephraim. Ephraim is the northern kingdom.
Facts. So yeah, we about to get into that right now. All right. And so this is Isaiah 11 and verse 12. And it says, and he shall set up an ensign. Remember we read that earlier, the ensign, or those markers, which is the same thing as the signs.
Right.
You feel me? For the nations, it shall assemble the outcast from out the land. Remember, they had to return to their borders.
Right.
So the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Some left there, but he's gathering the ones that were right. They can't. You gotta just, Anyway, 13 says, the envy also of Ephraim, the 10 tribes, shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah, southern kingdom, shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Before I go to this next verse, or this next scripture I go to.
Yeah, precept.
Joseph had Ephraim and Manasseh. We established that. Ephraim was the firstborn, chosen by the Most High for one. We've seen that in Jeremiah 31. But in Genesis 48, we've seen that the right hand was placed on the head of Ephraim, the younger, to be the favored, to be the one that the blessing goes to, even though we knew that Manasseh was born before. You have to establish that, right? Before we move on to this next part. So, with this next part, we're going to Genesis
37.
What's that, bro? 37?
37.
I don't even got that wrote down.
I got Genesis 37.
Oh, you bring that out then, bro. You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Genesis 37. And we're going to verse 3 to 5. So it says, so this is Genesis 37, verse 3. Now Israel, which is Jacob, changed his name to Israel. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son.
Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. Joseph comes from Rachel that was weeping for her children, being the firstborn of her children, because her second one was Benjamin.
Right.
So let's just get that context right now. Go ahead.
It said, now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And the brethren
hated Joseph.
And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him even more. Yep. And then the next one we're going to, so we see here that his brothers, they hated Joseph. The next one we're going to is, we're going to skip down to, we're in the same chapter, but we're going down to verse 11. And it says, and his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same. So this is after when Joseph explained the dream to his brothers and to Jacob, Israel. And so they envy him for that. But his father observed the same, and his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, here I am. And he said unto him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring me a word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came into Shechem. And a certain man found him, and beheld, he was wandering in the field, and the man asking him, saying, what are you looking for? And he said, I seek my brothers. Tell me, I pray thee, where are they feeding their flocks? And the man said, they are departing hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when his brothers when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer come. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into the pit. And we will say, some evil beast had devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit in this wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him. To deliver him to his father again.
Right. So Reuben, being the oldest of all the children of Israel, all the children of Jacob, he's like, yo, we just gonna throw him into this pit. We ain't gotta do all that. We ain't gonna put no hands on him. This is what he's saying. So this is what Reuben's saying.
Right.
So now let's see what happens after that.
So verse 23, it says, and it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren, they stripped Joseph out of his coat, and his coat of many colors, that was on
Get
him.
up out your coat. Get
Mhm.
up out your coat. This is what they saying to the younger brother. Get up out your get up out your stuff. You feel me? So
Right.
go ahead.
And they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm, and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah
Back.
said,
Now pay attention. Pay attention. It says in Judah, Shalom, bro. It's just Jeremiah
"Yeah,
31.
so
We going into an in-depth lesson. We gonna save it. But
yeah, we're saving it."
yeah, we just went to Jeremiah 31. But right now we in Genesis. But yeah, go ahead, bro. It says
So
in Judah. Now read that verse over.
it says, and Judah said to his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, and our flesh and his brother were content.
Right. So his brothers, like Judah, not even the oldest. Reuben is the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
But Judah, like, yo, let's sell him.
Right.
Let's go sell him to the Ishmaelites.
And
And they
money.
do whatever they want with him.
Right. He didn't care.
Yo, they not thinking about their father at this time. This is what I'm showing you. From Genesis, the envy of Ephraim and Judah. And Joseph is Ephraim.
Right.
So you have to understand that. It's showing you the envy. It's showing you I hope y'all seeing this. It's
right.
like, this. You think it just happened from Genesis to Malachi?
Right.
No, it's to this day. It's to this very day.
To this day.
And you may not even know it because you may not even know if you Ephraim or Judah.
You don't
like,
know.
And I'm talking about Southern Kingdom.
Yeah.
I tried. But you don't even know. But I'm saying it's happening to this day. You thinking that all right, I want to give a you thinking that basically like in the time of Samuel or in the time, let's just say in the time of King Solomon, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That they know about really what we reading about right now, that they know about, selling, they might have known about it. But you gotta remember, things was just getting written and it was just to be, taught at another time. My point in saying this is it was an envy from the beginning of the brothers, even before the children had the covenant, the children of Israel, right? You have to understand that. It's been that. We inherited that if we didn't follow the way. It's been that way.
It was always strife between
It was always strife. So I hope that I proved that, you feel me? It's the distinction between these two, right? It's a distinction. We can't be reading the Bible with this whole, it's everything. No, when it says that the daughters of Zion hair is bald, it's not talking about all of them. And that's a fact.
It's only talking about Southern Kingdom.
It's talking about something, but it's not saying that all Northern Kingdom is like, it's not saying that either.
Right.
You have to understand in what context the Bible is talking about, and that's where our problems lie. That's why we have people that be like, man, it's all about this and all about that, when it's scriptures that say, study to show thyself approved.
Gotta be led by the Holy Spirit.
It's scriptures that say, search out the scriptures daily to see if those things are so.
Through that precept, I can understand it.
We have to be able to read the Bible in a certain context. You think if it's telling you in the days of, in the second year of, it's telling you that for no reason? No, it's telling you for that to line it up.
Right.
Because right here, it's full of mysteries and deep parables. And you got to be able to unravel those things, man. And that's all I really, be trying to get off. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
You got to be able to study it a little better. And I'm not saying that because it's a lot
there's still a lot that we still don't understand, and that's the thing. Like, I get it. Some people, some people they want to gain so much all at once. When you have to have the Holy Spirit to guide you, and you can't. Faith without works is dead. You can't just sit here, read surface reading, and expect the Holy Spirit to just show you the
Not
mysteries.
gonna happen.
He wants you to
It's
put
not
in
gonna.
work. How much do you love the Most High? How much do you love truth? The truth is the word. The word is the Messiah. How much do you love him?
It's
You have
in here, bro. It's in here.
you
It's
gotta
in here,
you
man.
gotta seek out the matter. You gotta seek it out. The enemy done everything that they could, that the Most High allowed, to hide, to confuse us, to misguide us. It's up to us with the Holy Ghost, the Ruach, to figure out and put pieces together and hear what the Most High is saying. Because these prophecies and these words are already been written. The Most High, he's past, present, future. He already knows what's about to happen. It's just up to us to hear what he's saying, and to not rely on our own understanding, but just to read it for what it is. Seek out truth. Seek me, you shall find me. So
Facts. Facts. And that's just, that's just it for real. I mean, we coming out with another lesson. We doing part 2. We just finishing it up.
yeah,
For the Messiah's ministry, the mission of the Messiah. We gonna finish that up. But yeah, man, man, people just gotta start reading and comprehending
we
right.
gotta stop being
But
lazy, man. We lazy when it
yeah,
comes to
it's the
scriptures.
laziness. It's the laziness, and we know people got lives and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
then, if that's the case, don't get on here being trying to be a teacher or trying to. You feel me? If that's the case, then just do you. I got a
Right.
job too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
we all got jobs. We all
got a
got
life,
living. Like,
but we put in work and we read things for what it is, and we actually ask questions and we look into things. So,
mm-hmm.
But I'm just glad everybody, tuned in. Who tuned in? I see a couple people who've been in here the whole time.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate that.
Much love to all
And
y'all.
we're gonna say this. We're gonna say this again. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Shalom, y'all.
Shalom to
Shalom.
all. Pray that the Most High protect everyone.
Right. Much love until the next time.
All right. And we don't we're bringing out part 2 of what we
Yeah.
did in the last
Soon.
one
I mean,
this
we
week.
we basically got it figured out. We just need to work out a couple more kinks for real.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah.
So
All right, y'all. Shalom.
that's it.
Y'all stay blessed.
All right, man.
All right,
Shalom,
bro.
y'all. Shalom. All right, bro. I'm gonna hit you up.
Right. Come